attention. I was like, well, why don't we sit right here? And he was like, no, let's keep walking.
I was just like, no, and she's like,
okay.
okay.
And so we stopped at the bridge, and evidently Melissa was hiding in the bushes taking pictures. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I was like, I knew that's where you were going, and I had scoped out a spot the other day. And so then I saw you at the bridge, and I was like, oh no, and I started running with my camera. I was like, Janelle looks over here. This is
I have no clue. So then, you can for a minute, babe. So then we kept walking to, like the other day when we were there, Anthony said that one particular spot was his favorite spot. And so we went back there and we're standing there and he's like, oh, I love this spot. And so I'm standing there and he said something about several laps around the park. And I was thinking, gosh, I'm wearing high heel boots. Okay, I can do this. He really wants to. So I'm standing there like trying to get the pressure off of my, oh, first we walked up and there was a guy standing by a tree playing the guitar, which is not abnormal for Nashville, so I didn't think anything of it. So I'm so focused on the fact that my feet really hurt and he still wants to walk laps around the park. And he's like, are you cold? And I was like, no, my feet really hurt. I'm like paying attention to him. And the guy starts playing Marry Me by Train, which is a song that Anthony thinks I proposed to him.
She proposed to me on Skype with it once, and then
I asked him if he had heard the song
no, she's like,
by Train, Marry Me.
And then she played the song, and then she's like, I'm not proposing.
So I did not propose. So he started playing that song, and I was like turning to be like, oh my gosh, he's playing that song. How crazy is that? And then he was standing beside us, and I was thinking, well, that's really cool. Like, he's not just standing here and wants to come play the guitar by us. That's sweet. And then Anthony started singing the song to me, and then I looked over and saw Melissa, and I was like, okay. I finally got it. I know what's happening here. So he sang the song, and then got down on one knee and proposed, and I said yes, as you can tell.
This would have been a lot more of an awkward party had she said no.
Yeah.
In my mind, we're coming here regardless. At least I can eat some food, and console myself with some heart-shaped cookies. It's better that she said yes.
So then the most romantic part was we were sitting on this swing, like just swinging back and forth, and he looked down, and there was something on his pants. And he was like, oh, what is that? And went to pick it up and throw it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, that's nice.
Laughing hysterically.
And he was trying to be really romantic, and he was like rubbing my hand, and I was like,
It's like 5 minutes later.
oh, you're rubbing my hand with your perfect.
And then I was like, no, I wiped it off, and they were still smelling like that. I was like, oh.
Roommates and bird food.
But it was really funny because one of the things, like, I really like that spot because there was like hanging green trees in the park when I was in the back. But there was this really ugly sign in the way. It was like danger, unsafe ice or something
Yeah,
like
because you're not
that.
supposed to walk on the
So I
pond.
was like, man, I was like, how am I going to get rid of this sign? Because I want the pictures Melissa's going to take. And so I shook the sign and I realized like, oh, it's not like cemented in there. It's just like sitting there. And I'm like,
Out the sign.
I'll put the sign back. I just need it out. So like, this was like 5 days ago. So I like shook it and like people would run by and I'd be like. And so then like they knew, and so I'd shake it some more, and then another person would come, and then finally like I got it loose enough, and so the last frog went by, and I pulled it out and threw it behind the bushes. And so today I pulled it back out and tried to shove it back in. I couldn't, but I left it in the spot
Ground was
where
too
it
cold today.
But the park crew will see it, and they'll put it back where it needs to be. So, but the shot was unbelievable. I'm sure you're.
Like, I think one of the first things she said to you was like, well, I don't think what I did was illegal. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. When we first met, I'm like, hey, so I'm not sure this was legal, but.
Let me tell you what it is.
So we have pictures with us with the sign. It says unhealthy.
And then we laid it on the ground because we couldn't get it back to the ground.
They'll put it
It's okay, your fingerprints will show up.
there.
With
It
Berkeley.
was worth it. It was worth it. You know, 2 months in jail will be worth it for a beautiful picture with
It's a good trade-off.
$10,000.